Magandang umaga po sa aming lahat, sa ating mga kapatid sa media, at mga panuorin at spokespersons. Magandang pag-usapan ang sports sapagkat sinasabi na nasa kabataan ang kinabukasan ng bayan. Pero kung ang kabataan po ngayon ay ang interest ay Pokemon Go, sa halip na yung talagang laro ng mga bata, na ika nga makapagdudulot ng malusog na pangangatawan at magiging competitive tayo sa international sports, mukhang maiiwanan tayo ng ating mga kalapit bansa. Alam po ninyo, nagsimulang lumahok ang Pilipinas sa Olympics noong 1924. Kaisa-isang manlalaro ang naipadala noon. Pinakamaraming manlalaro ang naipadala ng Pilipinas sa Munich, Germany noong 1972. Umabot po sa 53 ang nakasama sa patimpalak. Nagkaroon po ang Pilipinas ng 49 na manlalaro sa Mexico Olympics. Merong 47 sa Tokyo Olympics. Sumunod ang Pilipinas sa Amerika sa hindi paglahok sa 1980 Moscow Olympics. Ito po ang isa sa mga dahilan kaya nakakatsawa ng Pilipinas na sunod-sunuran sa gusto ng Amerika. But that is not our issue today. 10 medalya ang nakamtan ng Pilipinas sa Olympics since 1924. Samantalang merong mga bansa sa Rio Olympics na higit sa 10 medalya ang nakamit o nakamtan. Kung pag-uusapan po ang populasyon, nangunguna ang Indonesia sa Timog Silangang Asya. May 261 million sila. Merong manlalarong 28 sa 7 sports. Nagkamit sila ng 1 gold and 2 silver medals. Pang 44 po sila. Ang Pilipinas, pangalawa sa Southeast Asia with 102 million. We had 13 athletes in 8 sports. We got 1 silver. And we placed 72. Vietnam, with a population of 94 million, had 23 athletes in 10 sports with a whole of 1 gold and 1 silver. Thailand, a relatively smaller country by population with 68 million, had 54 athletes in 15 sports at nagkaroon ng 2 gold, 2 silver at 2 bronze. Kaya number 35 sila. Yung Myanmar with 54, merong 7 athletes in 5 sports. Pero ang pinakamaganda rito ay yung Singapore with a population of over 5 million. They sent 27 athletes in 7 sports and they had 1 gold medal. Sa mga bansa sa Asia, ang China ay pangatlo after the United States and Great Britain. Pang-6 ang Japan, pang-8 ang South Korea, Kazakhstan, ang Iran ay pang-23. Pero ang masakit nito, yung isang bansang hirap tulad ng North Korea ay may 2 ginto, 3 silver at 2 bronze. Nasa 30th position. Kung pabuya po ang pag-uusapan ng weightlifter na si Xu Zuqing ng Taiwan, na tumalo sa ating kababayan si Heidi Lim, ay tatanggap ng $952,000 or 44 million pesos. Si Heidi Lim ay tatanggap ng 5 million ayon sa batas. Dinagdagan ito ng Malacanang at yung natitirang pera sa Senado ay tila ibibigay pa sa kanya. Yung Singapore, yung athlete na si Joseph Schooling na may gold medal, tatanggap ng $746,000 or 34 million pesos. Yung Indonesia, may 382,000 or 17 million pesos. Malaysia with 251,000 pesos or dollars or 11 million pesos. Okay? So, sinasabi po na sa record ng CNN, number 1 ang Singapore sa incentive sa gold medals. Pero ang Pilipinas nasa top 10. Kaya nga lamang, ang sumusunod sa atin yung Kyrgyzstan na merong $200,000 or 9 million pesos. Pero ahead tayo doon po sa Kyrgyzstan. Okay? Ngayon, mag-flashback tayo bago sinilang si Gretchen at si Gretchen. May isang kilalang Pilipino ng pangalan ni Anthony Villanueva. Silver medalist noong 1964, Tokyo Olympics. Anak ni Jose Luis Villanueva, isang bantamweight bronze medalist noong 1932. Tinalo niya yung mga nasa preliminary bouts, pero kontrobersyal yung pagkatalo niya kay Stanislav Stepaskin ng Russia. Naging isang professional boxer sa 4 na laban, 3 talo, 2 knockout. Nagkaroon ng 3 pelikula pero hindi tumabo sa takilya. Nagtrabaho bilang security guard sa Philippine Consulate sa New York. Umuwi sa Pilipinas noong 1988. Pumanaw si Anthony noong Mayo ng 2014. Walang salapi, naratay sa banig ng karamdaman. May ilang pagkakataong pinagtangkaan niyang isangla yung kanyang silver medal o ipagbili, subalit wala namang tumanggap. Nabuhay siya sa pension na 7,000 piso buwan-buwan, pandagdag sa kita sa kanilang sari-sari store na may gulay at suka toyo sa Laguna. So ang tanong, ano nangyayari sa atin sa Pilipinas? Okay? Kasama ko po si Sky Ortigas ang aking co-host.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat at full house tayo dito sa Tapatan sa Aristocrat. So, ang ating mga guest mo ngayon, kung makikita nyo, mayroon tayong mga belt dito sa championship belt. Explain yan mamaya. Okay, sir. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
Simulan natin. Nasa aking kaliwa si Professor Lordinio Vergara. Siya po ang Director ng Institute of Physical Education, Health, Recreation, Dance, and Sports sa Philippine Normal University. Obligasyon po niya na magturo sa mga magiging guro na mag-introduce ng mass-based sports. Of course, we're joined by Chairman Baham Mitra ng Games and Amusements Board. We will be asking the Chairman kung ano na ang nangyayari sa Games and Amusements Board. Nasa kanya pong kaliwa ang isang Gretchen. Si Gretchen Magbanua Abaniel. Siya po ay isang champion sa larangan ng boxing. Narito rin yung kanyang mister na isang dahilan kaya siya naging champion. Kasama po natin si Commissioner Celia Kiram ng Philippine Sports Commission. Narito rin ang isa pang Gretchen. Ito, delikado ito. Ilang beses nagkamedalya sa larangan ng karate. Gretchen Malala. At isa ring mamamahayag. We're joined by Iggy D. Ito pong si Iggy ay isang sports writer na ngayon ay foreign correspondent at tuwang-tuwa rin makipagkwentuhan kung ano na nangyayari sa sports. And we're joined by Larry Domingo from the Philippine Sports Commission. So, let's start the ball rolling. If we were to ask the Philippine Sports Commission, ano po ang inyong pinagkakaabalahan in as much as mukhang ang kwento mas marami yata yung officials kaysa doon sa athletes sa Olympics. Pero yung bang ating mga athletes talagang sanay at pwedeng tumapat sa Olympics? Pakisuya po ng microphone.
Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Kami po ay bagong upo lang na commissioner ng Philippine Sports Commission. Actually, we were just appointed August 16. But sabi ko nga masyadong nasa highlight ang sports when it was announced noong June 27. It was placed in the paper, yung pagka-aming appointment. However, the official appointment was only given to us last August 16. No, despite of the fact that we were already instructed to do our job as early as July 1. Anyway, kami po ay bilang bagong Board of Commissioners ay tumututok ngayon sa pagkakaroon ng manualization na lahat ng palisiya ng Philippine Sports Commission. So, napakaganda po yung mga binanggit nyo kanina. Ano na nangyayari? Bakit mas marami mga officials na papunta sa Rio Olympics? For your information po, Ang naglalagay, ang Rio Olympics, ang Olympics, I'm sorry, ang Southeast Asian Games, Asian Games, at lahat ng Asian level or international level sports are under the Philippine Olympic Committee. So, eto pong bago po sila pumunta sa Olympics, dumadaan po yan ng qualifying. So hindi ko po basta isang atleta ay makakasama diyan na hindi dumadaan ng qualifying, no,
And
ng
according to Olympic standards.
Olympics standard, no po. So yung po napasama diyan ay talagang pumasa ng qualifying rounds, no? So katulad po nung kaso ni Hidilyn, nakita po namin sa EQS niya na actually ang inaasahan lang natin bronze eh. Kasi as per her EQS, bronze lang yung na ano niya, pero nagkamali yung kanyang kalaban na China. So, nakuha natin yung ating silver. No? Yung pagpili po ng mga official dyan, ay wala pong say ang Philippine Sports Commission. It's the Philippine Olympic Committee.
But do you extend support to would-be athletes?
Yes, we do. It's our mandate that we have to support all the international competitions of the Filipino athletes.
So basically po ma'am, yung Philippine Sports Commission, is it for the locals or ano pong difference niya with the Olympic Committee Commission?
Tayo po yung nagpa-fund.
Nagpo-fund.
Opo, per our mandate, kami yung nagbibigay ng pondo para makarating doon sa international competitions yung ating mga atleta.
Saan po galing ang pondo?
Meron po tayong dalawang pinagkagalingan. Isa po yung sa PAGCOR, yung national General Appropriations and NSDF, no, na nagagaling Development Fund. No po.
So all international games po ba ma'am?
Yes.
Tayo ang nagpo-fund ng Philippine
Yes.
Sports Commission. Okay.
Okay, very well. Sa Games and Amusements Board, what is it that you do? Dahil lang sa, pag nag-amateur ang isang athlete, later on, nagiging professional. Do you get to monitor? Meron na ba tayong mga pamalit doon sa mga professional players natin? Because they're also advancing in age. Chairman.
Yes, thank you very much. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Ako po si Baham Mitra mula po sa Palawan. Ngayon po ay nahirang bilang chairman ng committee on, hindi pala committee, kundi Games and Amusements Board. Hindi ko nga lang alam ma'am kung kasama kami doon sa mga natanggal. Kaya po kagabi ay tumatawag po ako kay Manong Melo. Manong, ano ba, pupunta pa ba kami? Baka mamaya matanong kami kung kami po ay nandiyan pa. Because as of Saturday at 1 in the morning, nagkaroon yata ng announcements na all presidential appointees have been canceled or revoked or I don't know. Anyway, so nandito kami, naka-accept na kami ng invitation. Anyway, may konti pong confusion no, doon sa Games and Amusements Board. Akala po nila kami po yung nagpupondo ng sports development program. But it's the Philippine Sports Commission. Hindi rin po kami yung in charge sa mga casino. Some people think that we are somehow in charge of permitting and licensing and regulation of casinos. Hindi po. Kami po ay nagre-regulate ng professional sports. Mainly, ang malaking trabaho po sa GAB ay of course yung boxing at saka yung PBA. No? Professional po, professional. Of course, nandyan po yung billiards, nandyan po yung golf, at meron pa mga iba-iba. No? Yung volleyball, pinag-uusapan pa. And GAB has a funding from the General Appropriations Act, which passes through Congress every year. And we are under the Office of the President. We are not a government-owned and controlled corporation. But meron din po kaming share, no? Gate receipts, 3% of the PBA. So we make sure that wala pong mga game fixing. We're going to try to activate the anti-illegal gambling unit with the support, of course, of the President and the other allied, for example, the PNP, the NBI, the CIDG, and I think PCSO is also under the the anti-gambling unit. But it will be transformed. No? Parang ang plano is to set up a task force, which will include, of course, PAGCOR. But sa ngayon po, kami, we've so far, medyo yung boxing po, may data po kami dito. If you want, pwede namin i-share mamaya. So far, hindi naman po masyadong malaki yung difference from 2014, 2015, 2016 in terms of promotions, licenses issued, and about supervised. But I've only been here for about a week and a half. Like you, ma'am, nasabihan po ako July 19 na yata o 20, pero meron na palang letter to the Games and Amusements Board na tayo na yung mag-chair. I don't know, ma'am, if you're already complete, but kami po, ako pa lang. I don't have wala pa po dalawang commissioners. Unlike before, Chairman Guanzon, Commissioner Tamano, and Commissioner Gaston. Basta ngayon po, ako pa lang. At we will have to double check if we still have a job. Otherwise, we go back to trabaho natin sa negosyo po.
Medyo nakaka-intrigue. So, ngayon nariyan pa kayo, you meet yourself lang dahil wala pa yung dalawa eh.
We were lucky enough to have briefings and one board meeting with the two commissioners because I came in, I was designated July 15 and I was informed July 22, and the President issued an executive order extending the other government personnel appointed by the previous administration up to July 31. So meron na po kaming board meeting. Meron na pong konting pagbabago sa GAB. Yung paglilisensya po ng mga boksingero, hindi na po lahat January. Ngayon po, para wala ng mga pila-pila, sabay na rin po sa birthday. And we're working out na every 2 years or every 3 years na ang paglilisensya.
Gano'ng karami ba yung professional boxers?
Mga 1,000 po eh. Nandito po yung data.
Madami
Opo.
pala.
Opo.
They're spread across the country.
Licenses, 1,468. I think this includes referees and judges. Diba? And then in 2014, 1,400. Tapos 1,400 din 2013. Ngayon po, medyo 928 pa lang. Eh, siguro po medyo, alam ko maraming promotions pagka towards the later part of the year.
Okay. We're joined by a champion
From Palawan also. Introduce ko na po.
Okay. So, Gretchen, ano tong mga belt na naririto? Tell us more. Gaano ka na katagal nagbo-boxing in the first place?
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Before po, ako po ay naging part ng national team for almost 4 years. So, parang advantage po sa akin nung nag-turn professional ako last 2006. And currently po, itong mga titles na hawak ko po ay yung kulay blue ay WIBA, Women's International Boxing Association World Title. At ang GBU naman po ay ang Global Boxing Union. And itong isa po ay WIBF, Women's International Boxing Federation World Title naman po. So currently, ako po ang may hawak ng triple world title po sa women's division sa minimum weight po.
Yung pong minimum weight, gaano kabigat?
Nasa 47 kilogram lang po, 105 pounds.
Okay. Yung aking kasing kapartner, si Sky, hindi na magka-qualify dyan.
Ay, hindi na talaga. At saka hindi po ako pang back.
Huwag mo kayo iwanan dito.
Wag na.
Kaya alam mo, ibang weight category.
Wag na, doon na tayo. Balik na tayo sa mga atleta natin.
Katagal ka nag-handa para sa isang kampyonato?
Actually, pinakamatagal na po yung 2 months. 2 months training po bago po mag-compete. So, ako po ay paalis po bukas, papunta po ng Sydney, Australia para po sa training camp ko doon for November 19 po na fight sa Vietnam.
You will be defending your belt.
It's either unification po ng tatong title or mag-a-aspire po ako sa panibagong world title po. It's either WBA or WBO world title. Yes po, November 19.
Pero gaano kalaki ang gastos din? Patungong Australia, sino gumagastos sa iyo?
Thankful po ako kasi po yung manager ko is Australian. Then ang trainer ko po, coach ko po ay Australian. So, funded po ito lahat po ng Australian manager ko po. So, lahat po ng expenses ko po doon, training ko po ay gagastos po ni lahat ng ng manager ko. Actually po nung last po na fight ko, yung tatlo po na yan, nakuha ko po yan. Para kasi nakuha ko po kasi yung 2 red sa Germany last 2015. So parang I have to defend it. Kung hindi po, mawawala po sa akin yun. Then, naging vacant po yung WIBA, yung blue. So, parang sabi ko sa, sa trainer ko, coach, kung makukuha mo ko ng fight dyan sa Australia, na ma-defend ko yung kahit isa lang sa isa na hindi mawala sa akin yung title, kung papayag yung may hawak ng organization, sabi ko, kahit wala po akong prize money, basta sabi ko, ma-defend ko yan kahit walang bagong title. Actually po sa boxing po kasi, kapag ka walang vacant na title, like let's say may title defense ka, then kapag ka hindi po nagpagawa ng bagong title, yung title po na yan, na itong hawak ko po, yan ang ibibigay ko sa mananalo. So, parang sinabi ko sa kanya na kahit hindi mo nabayaran yung title o yung belt na bago, basta ang importante sa akin makapag-fight ako. Sabi ko, titiyakin ko na mananalo po ako sa last July 2 ko lang po kasi lumaban po sa Australia din po. Sabi ko, sisikapin ko na mananalo ako. Sabi ko, kahit wala akong prize money. So talagang totally wala po akong prize money. And so thankful po sa Panginoon na talagang kahit wala talagang pera, ako po kasing atleta na hindi po importante sa akin yung pera. Parang para sa akin, glory, napaka-importante yung glory muna. Kung may pera na darating, thankful po ako kung mayroong support na darating sa akin. So yun po talaga, parang siguro po kung lahat po ng mga atleta, meron pong ganong mentality na hindi pera kaagad ang nasa isip. Parang kailangan mo munang maghirap, pagsikapan mo, magtiyaga ka, alam mo yun, lahat ng determinasyon mo sa training mo, lahat ibubuhos mo doon. At siguro talagang yun, talagang ang work hard mo po talaga, may kabayaran po yun. At yun po yung tagumpay, yung success po na maibibigay at yung karangalan po na hindi kayang bayaran ng kahit na sino ang karangalan na maibibigay mo po sa Philippines po.
Yeah, kung sa bagay, pinicture ng CNN, yung gold medal is only $287. Pero it is not the amount of the medal, pero yung okasyon na ibigay sa iyo yung medalya.
At para sa'yo yun.
At talagang pinaghirapan mo yun. Okay, so 2 buwan ng paghahanda. Kung hindi naman siguro classified, nakailang round ka na ng suntukan sa kampyonato?
Marami na po, parang hindi ko na mabilang po. Pero actually, ang training po in 2 months, kasi po especially po sa boxing, like professional, at least you have more than 100 rounds before ka po sasabak sa fight. Apo.
Wow. Hindi ba hanggang sa pagtulog, dala-dala mo yan dahil nakakintaw sa isip mo.
Pang may kasuntukan ka pa rin.
Actually po minsan, kahit pagka natutulog, minsan nagugulat ka, parang ganun. Parang minsan may ganun po.
Delikado rin pala. Let's go to another Gretchen. Ito po naman isang kasama namin dito na panauhin, si Gretchen Malalat. Bukod sa pagiging mamamahayag, bago siya naging journalist, gold medalist sa ilang international competitions.
Kaya ingat ka dito. Karate.
Hi, magandang umaga ho. Well, I was an athlete. I was a member of the national team, karate team, for 8 years. And yung record ko is I won 3 gold medals in the Southeast Asian Games, 2001, 2003, and 2005. Also, I was a medalist Asian Games, then bronze medal. Well, during our time, it was, siguro hanggang ngayon, yung mga athletes are still struggling. And when I was an athlete, our problem was the infighting between the NSA, between groups inside the NSA. So ayun yung malaking balakid during my time, I think. And I hope sana ngayon hindi na nararanasan ng mga athletes yon. Because there's a lot of deserving athletes na talagang they have this record, magaling talaga sila. they can fight internationally and win medals. But what's holding them back are the officials within the NSA. It happened to us. It happened to our own NSA.
NSA, meaning
National Sports Association.
Anong nangyayari? Bakit may mga ganun?
May kanya-kanyang faction sila. So,
So
this
may
one,
favorites pag may ganun?
I mean, there's one NSA president, right? Yung parang pinaglalabanan nila yung position na yun. Some are against this president. Pag ayaw nila, magbe-break away. Then yung mga athletes, pag nag-break away, saan ka pupunta, di ba? During my time, parang nung nangyari sa amin yon, we asked the help of the PSC. I still remember ang yumaong Butch Ramirez, Tuason, sorry. Tuason. Ayun, dun kami lumapit sa kanya. But I'm very happy that Butch Ramirez is back in the PSC. He was the chairman before I retired. And I think he's the only chairman who sleeps inside the Ultra, isang dormitory. And every morning, we see him go jogging kasabay ng mga atleta. He visits us every day. Walang humpay yan, maski Saturday. So I'm glad that he's back.
Nakakatawa naman. Sir, naman sa physical education naman tayo. Kamusta naman yung mga kabataan ngayon? Importante pa ba ang physical education sa pag-aaral ngayon?
Gusto maging teacher.
Oo.
Maraming salamat po sa paanyayang ito at ito po ang aking hinihintay na pagkakataon para masabi kung ano ang nasa konteksto ng edukasyon. No? Gusto ko pong bigyan ng tuon ngayon. Masyadong maganda yung tinatakbo ng education natin, lalong-lalo na kaugnay sa PE at sa sports. Kasi meron tayong senior high school sports track. Yang senior high school sports track na yan ang magbibigay ng mas malaking oportunidad sa mass-based sports kasi mayroon ng papupuntahan ang mga interesadong mga kabataan na may hilig sa sports. So, magandang ginawa dahil gusto ko pong sabihin sa inyo na mayroong 16 na dalubguro sa Pilipinas ngayon na nag-aaral ng doktorado ng PE at sports sa Indonesia. At isa po ako doon at kami po ay nagkaroon ng magandang analysis at natutuwa ako na nakita ko na mas nauuna sila kasi maganda yung sistema ng sports sa kanila sa Indonesia. Ngayon, sa K-12, ang PE ay magsisimula na sa grade 1. So in terms of grassroots development, in terms of sports education, nabibigyan ng pagkakataon ngayon. Ang problema lang ay hindi kami masyadong binibigyan ng maraming oras. Kasi ang PE ay kukuhanin lamang ng 40 minutes sa isang linggo. Samantalang ang World Health Organization at ang mga international body, ang recommendation is daily physical activity kasama ang sports development. So, at natutuwa ako dahil ang Pilipinas lang ang isa na mayroong legal mandate sa Constitution ng PE at sports. We are the only country in Asia who has a legal mandate, Article 14, Section 19. Kaya, yun ang lagi naming clamor sa edukasyon. No? Ngayon, sa usapin naman ng edukasyon sa pag-prepare ng mga guro. Mayroon pong ginagawa ngayon ang CHED. Ako po'y bahagi sa technical committee ng PN Sports sa CHED na mayroon na pong hiniwalay na po namin ngayon. We're proposing a separate degree program for Sports and Wellness Management and BSS, a Bachelor Science in Sports Science. Para mas mabigyan natin ng pagkakataon itong mga magiging coach at magiging officials ng scientific know-how about sports. In existing, meron tayong CHED Memorandum Number 30 for Bachelor of Secondary Education major in MAPE. Ito ay MAPE, Music Arts PE. Pero mas nakikita namin ang importansya kasi sa Indonesia, ang ganda ng kanilang program because they have sports academy. So I was given an opportunity to visit one sports academy in Indonesia nang meron talaga sila. Sa atin kasi meron tayong SPS, Special Program for Sports, na mayroon sa bawat regional sa Pilipinas. No? Pero hindi ganun kasi yung support. Ito kasi, lahat sa Indonesia, lahat ng pupunta at magiging national pool sa grassroots, doon itinitrain. So, libre lahat yon sa bata na nag-aaral ng PE. Kaya ang grassroots development nila, makikita mo yung level. At yung PE teacher doon, wala man lang, hindi kagaya ng Pilipinas na may licensing, meron kami tinatawag na licensure examination for teachers. Hindi ka pwedeng magturo at hindi ka pwedeng pumasok sa public school nang wala kang license. Pero sa Indonesia iba, may leveling. Bago makapunta sa next level yung teacher, dadaan siya ng tedious training supported by the government. Mayroon silang national training for PE teachers and sports leaders.
So, Director, ibig mo sabihin, hindi ka pwedeng maging coach sa track and field kung hindi ka tumatakbo, hindi ka marunong gumamit ng javelin throw, hindi ka nagha-hurdles, hindi po ba? Ganun
Kasi po, pinag-aralan yon. Yun yung discipline niya eh.
Precisely.
Because you cannot teach what you don't have. So, so kailangan po 'yon. Hindi lang po kasi ang konsepto po kasi ng coaching at officiating ay may kinalaman din sa technical at saka sa hindi pa pwede kasing I'm not against na dati kang player. And then you can eventually go to at yun po ang nakikita naming gap ngayon. Kasi wala tayong programa para mabigyan ng pansin na sana nga yung I hope because may programs naman din ang PSC for that. Pero yung talagang programs, kasi ngayon sa PNU, meron po kaming bagong program. It's a Master of Arts in Physical Education with areas in sports coaching and pedagogy. So para yung lahat ng mga walang diploma na mga inexistings na mga coach ay mabigyan ng tamang perspective. Kasi katulad po ng isang problema natin, no? Kaya ang ating program ay medyo nasisira din. Natatandaan niyo po yung nangyari sa palaro, hindi ko alam po sa Palarong Pambasa o isang national competition sa high school na namatay yung bata sa boxing. Di ba po? Kasi yun yung sinasabi natin na minsan hindi nakikita sapagkat dahil walang support na kahit sino na lang pwedeng mag-coach, kahit sino na lang pwedeng Pero sa level kasi ng elite sports, iba yon kasi may qualifications yun eh. Pero sa grassroots talaga, sana mabigyan ng government ng malaking importansya ang pagpapalawig ng sports sa baba pa lang.
Okay, well said. Ngayon, Iggy, you've been covering sports since
Since may
Time
book,
in
may book pa.
years ago, okay? The question is this. Bakit kating-kati ang Pilipino sa basketball? Noong araw, may nakukuha tayong medals sa basketball sa Olympics. Pero ngayon hindi na ubra dahil pumasok na yung mas malalaking bansa, mas matatangkang players. Dapat ba mag-shift na tayo sa ibang laro aside from basketball?
Magandang umaga sa inyo lahat, especially to the champions here, the two Gretchens and of course Chairman Mitra, yung ating professor, at si Mr. Larry Domingo, na mukhang isa sa mga source ko nung araw. And Commissioner Kiram. Well, basketball has always been a way of life in the Philippines since the 1930s when college basketball took fire. It became so popular, so wildly popular, that while we still had successes in track and field and swimming, the popularity of basketball was so much that every Filipino aspired to become a basketball player. Even now, you have a Filipino who is 5'10", at least 5'10", who can move well, who can shoot well, who has some ability. They will aspire to go to the D-League after going to college. The D-League, and then the D-League has a salary floor. I think it's at least 100,000 pesos if you are accepted. And then if you pass the D-League, then you can go to the draft and go to the PBA. So with that much money, and with that much basketball tournaments being played, being held. In fact, the sports pages are full of basketball tournaments. Kahit saan. Every Filipino would like to go to basketball as a way to earn money. However, if we go, the flip side here is that basketball according to many of our legendary players, has become so inward. The Filipinos will derive maximum pleasure from watching the PBA, from watching Ginebra now with 5 wins and 2 losses in the PBA, from watching all of these no harm, no foul games. Playing for the national team has not been that attractive in the most recent, in very recent years, as you can see in the 2015 FIBA Asia, where our national team did not have the best players because our best players had excuses which are medically validated. But then you wonder, because some of them, we remember in the old days, kahit nakatali yung hita, kahit may tama, pag tinawag, sige pa rin. Total naman, tinetherapy sa hapon, tinetherapy sa gabi. Basketball will be our national sport. It is here to stay. Kahit anong mangyari. It's just like what the Spaniards had with football. Okay. Yeah, football was Spain's top sport for a long, long time kahit hindi nananalo sa World Cup.
But isn't it that height is always a factor in basketball?
Yes, it is. Height, especially in skill. Ang nakakatawa lang dito ang nakakapagtaka lang dito pala sa atin, natatalo din tayo sa mismatch sa skills. Ang pumapatay sa atin sa labas sa mga Asian competitions, yung mga player na kasi lalaki natin, who are quicker, who have more skills, who can shoot left and right, okay, who can move without the ball, who can defend very well. Yun ang dumadali sa atin. Tignan mo yung sa New Zealand, sa FIBA elimination. Ang dumali sa atin yung magkapatid na Filipino size. Filipino size kasi 6-footer lang. Pero lintik kumilos.
Yun nga lang.
The skill aspect is sometimes neglected.
Yeah. What about individual sports? In Indonesia, they have badminton academies. Don't you think we can also do something in badminton? Or nung araw, yung bowlers natin, gagaling, di ba? Wala na yata kapalit.
Well, dito na lang tayo kay Gretchen. Nung araw, naalala ko noon, ang daming karate club sa Pilipinas. Napakarami. Sa Maynila, at least 30. Tama?
Ngayon, computer shop na yun.
Digital sports na daw.
Sa individual sports, kaya pa natin yan because we had Hidilyn Diaz as proof. And we have lots of athletes there in the provinces who need advanced training to become at least Southeast Asian Games level, like yung dalawang palarong pambansa na runners itong taon lang who are running, who have shown very immense promise in middle and long distance na babae.
Okay.
Oo, ang problema what will we do to make them run faster?
Alright. Good point. Larry, sapagkat sinunog na rin lang ni Iggy na ikaw ang source, let me ask you this. Yung mga Olympians natin ng araw, ano nang buhay nila ngayon? They try their best to represent the country after retirement. Ang problema raw dun sa ibang Olympians na gold medalists, pag uwi sa bahay, tulala na sila ano kakainin. Sila ba ay babalik sa prutas? Sila ba ay mag-i-steak? Sa Pilipinas yata ang tanong, may kakainin ba ako in the first place?
Case-to-case basis, no? By the way, thank you for inviting us. Si Comcelia, si Gretchen, another Gretchen, si Sir Mitra, si Prof, si Sir Iggy. But before that, I wish to substantiate yung issue about boxing. Okay, so yung boxing kasi that you were talking about earlier is the case of DepEd, no? It's a palaro event, regional level, and the officiating officials there are DepEd teachers. So they are not coming, they were not representatives or officiating officials of Amateur Boxing Association, the Philippines, okay? So, okay, Hidilyn is a good example of the law. Yung Republic Act 9064, which was last year amended by Republic Act 10699. No? He was the first beneficiary of the 5 million silver medal. No? For better if gold sana, no? 10 million yun. Now, he is the only Olympian who benefited from that Republic Act, from that law. Onyok, unfortunately, was not covered by that because it was in 1996 when he got the silver medal. No? And 1964 was just established or institutionalized in 2001. That's why all the entitlements of Mr. Onyok Velasco then was provided through board resolution lang ng Philippine Sports Commission and coming from the Social Development Fund of then President Fidel Ramos. Okay. So yung life after career, no? Let's talk about all the athletes, not just the Olympians. Life after career is basically your own eh. The government can support you. Just like yung 1964 na inamend nga ng 10699, we were pushing for a retirement pension every month pension. But unfortunately, hindi siya pinas. That provision was not passed by Senate and Congress for simple reason that for an individual to get pension, he must be giving premium payment every month for a particular number of years. So which is true, mababankrupt ang gobyerno in the long run with all the artists na mapoproduce natin. So that's impossible. That's why PS is just giving token, small pension lang. Just like the case of Mr. Anthony Villanueva, 7,000. That's the amount that is being allowed by COA.
Okay, so there has to be a law.
Actually, we work on it. Kaya lang, hindi talaga pinasa ng Congress and Senate. The giving pension.
They fail to see the relevance of this.
They are amenable to that, provided that they need to contribute for a particular amount for a given number of years. So yun yung, at that time, it's not workable. Instead of the whole provisions suffered because of that particular provision, we do away with that provision. We concur na i-exclude mo na yon on another session, maybe this coming session or now, the session now.
The perception that you have a stamped Congress and stamped Senate, if Digong will say, pasa natin to, pasado yan.
That remains to be seen. That remains to be seen po.
Okay. So, katulad nitong ating kasamang dalawang Gretchen, okay? You have considered yourself retired, right?
Yes.
And you are employed. So
Yes.
you have no problem because you studied, right?
Yes.
And you're a mass comm graduate.
Ang ano kasi nun, being an athlete is, in reality, habang bata ka, malakas ka, di ba? At some point in time, pag mga medyo mas matanda ka na, naturally, yung katawan natin, it can't match with the 20 years old, you know? So ako, reality check talaga. Na alam ko, may hangganan lang yung buhay ng pagiging atleta hanggang bata ka at malakas ka at nakakapag-produce ka ng medalya. So, ako talaga kasi I graduated AB Com Arts sa UST. So, ang gusto ko talaga, maging journalist. As a journalist, I studied for that. Naging national team ako when I was in college na may hidden talent pa ako. No, I didn't. I was in a karate club. Wala nun sa UST. We don't have a karate club in UST. So, oo. So, 8 years as a career, I think that was enough. I had injuries. I had ACL, I had rotator cuff surgery. So, I called it quits na nung after na ng knee surgery ko. And nag-ano na ako as a full-time journalist. But even when I was an athlete, I was interested. Yung mga nag-interview sa akin noon, nagpapaturo ako sa kanila, sa mga radio, sa mga TV. Si Chino Trinidad, he trained me. Kinuha niya akong courtside reporter during off-season. So that's how it worked for me. But nakita ko sa mga ibang athletes, yung mga kabatch ko, because we were employed also by the military. So yung iba, nagtuloy na sila. Yung iba naman, nag-coach sila. But there are some Minsan nakikita ko sila na who are really trying hard to make ends meet, na wala silang trabaho, na natanggal sila sa pagka-coach. Ayun nga, parang to think of it, ito yung mga taong lumaban para sa bansa natin, di ba? Nag-sacrifice. Tapos ngayon, they don't know how to make a living. Parang yun.
Okay, Chairman, let me ask you sa Games and Amusements Board. Have you noticed any significant change in the age of our professional athletes? Nadadagdagan ba dahil sa katulad ng pag sinabi mong billiards, lagi mo naisip si Efren Bata-Reyes, si Django Bustamante. Pag sinabi mo naman basketball, kahit na naging senador na, Jaworski pa rin yung naisip ng mga kaedad ko. Meron na ba ang mga pamalit?
Sa billiards po, si Rubilen Amit, silver medalist na 2015 SEA Games. And Dennis Orculio, gold medalist SEA Games 2015. Carlo Biado, bronze medalist. And si Warren Kiamco, gold medalist din po sa 2015 SEA Games. Doon po sa sinasabi ni Ma'am Gretchen kanina, change of careers, no? Danny Ildefonso, coach of Ateneo after playing. Verhel Meneses, JRU. Topex Robinson, coach of Lyceum, assistant coach of Alaska. Alan Kaidik, assistant coach of LaSalle, even if he played for, I think, UE. No, Alvin Patrimonio is the team manager of the Star Hotshots. Nick Velasco for Phoenix, assistant coach. Assistant manager si Paulo Bugia. Pido Herencio is the president of basketball operations for Global Port. And Jeffrey Cariaso is the assistant coach of Alaska Aces. So yung tanong niyo po kung merong mga up and coming, tingin ko po merong up and coming. Merong mga nami-mention sa billiards. Yung sa basketball, every October naman meron namang draft. Yung mga magagaling po sa NCAA, for example, si Mark Cruz, 2015 MVP ng NCAA, drafted by Star Hotshots in 2015, currently playing for Phoenix Suns. Troy Rosario, member of Gilas, dati rin po yan. And then yung golf, si Miguel Tabuena, si Sina Rodriguez. Only. Wala pa po kaming masyadong data on that. Opo.
Painin ko po siya pa rin.
Oo nga po eh.
Parang medyo, parang kung tutusin eh.
Yung bongko pa daw po dati.
Oo. Medyo may problema tayo dito dahil sa kung walang pumapalit sa kanila, mahihirapan tayo. Di po ba?
Actually, meron pong, admittedly, meron pong konting decline. For example, yung cycling, na pag-usapan na rin natin kanina, nawala po yung Marlboro Tour of Luzon. Kaya medyo humina. Except for some local governments and some businessmen who sponsor cycling events in the different provinces. Parang humina nga po.
Tama kayo doon. Dahil parang may conflict din. You're promoting cycling by smoking.
Nga po. That's also in the law, no? Nasa batas na hindi pwede mag-advertise ang mga tobacco companies sa sports, no? So Marlboro, Philip Morris, and all these things. But we mentioned earlier also that there are a lot of new energy drinks na gustong magpakilala na nagsusponsor po. And we noticed that, for example, in cockfighting, or in the PBA, yung mga nag-co-commercial dyan, pwede rin pong pakiusapan na mag-commercials for boxing. And we noticed in about a week and a half's work in the GAB, the social media hasn't been used very much. No, we feel that a lot of the people are very active in social media, and medyo sa tingin ko po kailangan maging mas active ang GAB. Not just in the welfare of our pro players, but also in trying to attract promoters and managers para yung mga magagaling nating mga amateur athletes, pwede natin malure in their older age to go to pro boxing. Unlike, medyo malungkot nga po yung kay Ma'am Gretchen. Ang manager, taga-Australia. Sila lahat ang nag-aalaga sa kanila. Sana dito. Sana dito.
Pero katulad nun, yung pag-GAB na sisilip kung anong arrangement ng champion natin si Gretchen at ng mga Australiano. Dahil baka naman nasa short change siya.
Kung may reklamo po siya, pwede pong, opo.
Pero kung walang reklamo, ibig sabihin nun, happy siya.
Ibig sabihin, happy siya. Walang
I think happy naman siya.
walang nadi-disadvantage na Pilipino. Pati po sa PBA, meron pong mga kontrata. Kung may nadi-disadvantage, pumupunta sa GAB, nagkakaroon ng mga hearing at nare-resolve. Marami po sa mga boxers, yung nagtiyaga at gumastos at nag-alaga sa kanila, towards the end, medyo nagkakaroon ng problema. So, nagpapalit ng manager. And nagrereklamo yung dating manager. So, nire-resolve po ng GAB yan. Actually, wala pong lumaki. Kasi doon po lang po sa GAB, nandun na po si Attorney Benitez, medyo naayos niya po yung ibang mga reklamo. But kung meron man, please let us know para ma-actionan pa po namin.
Oh, thank you. Sa Philippine Sports Commission, can you give us a profile of athletes that you did supporting, according to record?
Yeah. In
Kaya
fact,
palagay ko, meron.
yeah, meron si Doc Larry. In fact, we have two, no? The elite athletes and the grassroots athletes, no? So,
Grassroots athletes.
ito yung mga hindi nasa Olympic sports, no? So, I think meron kami ditong record ng aming sinusuportahan. May priority athletes kami na binibigyan namin ngayon ng for gold medalists, 43,000 yung a month, no? Yes, ito yung mga medalists sa SEA Games. No? Sila wala eh. Noong araw wala.
11,000.
11,000.
Oo. Ito based on the 2016 board resolution ng Philippine Sports Commission.
43,000 na yan.
Oo.
Ano po yan?
Hanggang nasa priority level sila. Hanggang gold medalist sila. Say may 2017 Southeast Asian Games in Malaysia, pag ma-handle pa nilang gold medalist sila, they will still continue receiving 43,000 pesos. Okay? So, para wala nang reklamo yung ating mga atleta.
Hindi na ho magkaka-ulcer.
Yes.
So from now until 2017, they're receiving.
Yes. Oo. Tapos yung silver medalist natin, 33,000. Ang bronze medalist, 28,000 pesos. Ito may sinasabi kaming Class A athletes, 27,000. Yung Class B, 21,000. And Class C athletes natin, 15,000. Training pool medalist, pagpasok nila, yung mga former, mga 12,600 kayo, 11,000 lang, no?
Class A na po yun.
Class A na kayo. Ngayon, ang Class A is 27,000 na. 27,000. Okay?
Ano pong pinakaiba ng priority sa Class A?
Yung priority, ito yung mga gold medalist ng Southeast Asian Games. Okay. So
Pero
yung,
sa class, kasi
yung
dati-
Class A, yung mga naging gold medalist, tapos nawawalan ng gold, tapos ayun, sa gold ulit, yun yung mga Class A natin.
Dapat pala nung athlete ako.
Okay? So yung mga new entry na athletes, 10,200 na ngayon, no? So yun yung ating yung mga priority athletes at the medalists of Olympics, Asian Games, and SEA Games. Class A, Olympic and Asian Games medalists and Olympic qualified athletes, no? Ang Class B, SEA Games gold medalists. Class C, SEA Games silver and bronze medalists and Southeast Asian level medalist, no? So, opo, at saka yung mga coaches din natin, tinaasan na rin ang kanilang ang salary nila. Ang gusto ng commission is maging at par doon sa mga international referee coaches, I mean, no?
Okay.
So yung coach, we have number of coach namin ngayon is 67 classification nito. We have 273, but the minimum I think that they are receiving now for Class C at trainer. For a trainer is 19,000 and the highest is 45,000 pesos. 35,000 pesos. No? And at the level ni Paing Nepomuceno na isang coach na ngayon sa bowling, ay katulad siya ng level ng international coach na I think $3,000 Yung head coach, yung old rate natin is 30, ngayon is 41,000 na, no? Head coach B from 25,000, ngayon 35,000. Head coach C from 20,000, we have 29,000 now. Assistant coach, 23,000. Trainer is 17,000. And the masseurs is 12,000.
Yung masahista kasama.
Opo, kasama na yon, no?
Mag-apply ka.
Physical therapist.
So ito po yung pinag-aaralan pa ng husto ng commission kasi we're putting up, I hope in our lifetime, the Philippine Sports Institute. Now we're all the nutrition, strength conditioning, at lahat ng kailangan ng atleta, pati pag-aaral, ay ilalagay na po sa isang Philippine Sports Institute. Nahuhuli po tayo eh. Pero ito po yung project ni Chairman Ramirez noong pa eh. Pero nung nawala po siya, hindi na napatuloy. I'm just hoping na siya po yung chairman ngayon. Mapapabalik na. Kaya po sa September, we will have a 23, we will have a national consultation to establish one master plan for sports. Sa wakas po. So, doon po yung pinagtutuunan namin ngayon at yung pong pagde-develop natin ng ating mga kabataan, magsisimula na po sa bata. I'm just happy to announce that the Batang Pinoy, we have done yearly Batang Pinoy, and those Batang Pinoy, meron po tayong pinupuntahan na Children of Asia Games. No, ito pong last month, July, we participated based on those ating mga medalists sa Batang Pinoy, and we won 1 gold sa boxing, 1 in athletics, and bronze in athletics, and taekwondo. No? So, ibig sabihin, yung po ating program ngayon, may pinupuntahan pababa yung mga batang ating dinidevelop, at we will encourage all the regions, all the provinces, and all the local government officials to use their money in sports. Kasi meron silang LGU funds for sports. And this must emanate from them, no? So, yun po yung pagtutuunan namin ng pansin ngayon, na lahat po, kailangan ng partnership tulungan, no? And the Philippine Sports Commission will just give them facilities. We will construct facilities if they need it, you know, give them trainers if they need it. So, our vision is to have a Philippine Sports Institute per region.
Alright.
No po.
Piggy, let me ask you, bago ko buksan yung ating floor for our colleagues from the media, let's go back to history. Marcosian ito. During the Marcos era, he appointed his cronies as patrons of sports. If I remember right, Danding Cojuangco was made Ninong for basketball. Roberto S. Benedicto was made Ninong for swimming. And then several other cronies took charge of different disciplines. Do you think it was a success? Or do you think kailangan ibalik yung mga oligarchs sa sports?
Marcos' time was a different time. Unang-una, martial law. Hawak niya lahat ng powers. And you must remember that the sports minister was the late Colonel Nereo Andolong, and the deputy ministers were Gilberto Duabit and Elpidio Doroteo, who is the father of Philippine weightlifting, and without him, hindi nagkaroon ng ugat na pinanggalingan ni Hidilyn Diaz. Of course, Marcos tapped his closest associates to run sports, like Danding for basketball, Benedicto for swimming, Lucio Tan for weightlifting, and then
was POC.
no. So yung kay Michael Kion is a different case. So, while it is very easy to say that the government must spend if we want to improve, the private sector must come in. But in what capacity and in what form of assistance? Because if I were a millionaire and I go to a sport, then I would say, 2017, kailangan pumatak kayo, ah. We have 11 months. And then when 2017 SEA Games come, boss, minalas kami. Mali ang tawag eh. 3 bomb decision namin. Tapos 2 referee na ano namin eh. Baka pwede naman kayong magpatuloy pa. And it happened in boxing. Anong sagot mo ron? So it turns off private assistance. Kulang ng resulta. Kailangan may resulta.
Hindi, pero katulad niyan, hindi ba nakaka-iskandalo naman yung laban ni Manny Pacquiao, ni Senador? Na kung ano nakatapang doon sa kanyang trunks.
Well, that's commercialism eh. Ano siya eh? Commercialism siya. Oh, commercialism. Hindi naman pwede yun dito eh. But it would be very, very ideal for the President to suggest to his closest associates, close businessmen, to fund sports where we need funding, like karate. May history tayo ng karate na malakas eh. Pwede, hindi naman siguro namatay lahat ng mga karate clubs. Meron pa dyan. Dapat tulungan, but it will take time. Like in badminton, the Indonesians began that in 1960. And they developed Rudy Hartono. Pero si Hartono hindi pa nananalo noon. Inabot pa yan hanggang mga late 60s. Tapos sabay dire-diretso na sila hanggang lumitaw na yung China. It takes time. Ang side by side with your question is, I'm sorry po sa PSC, but the PSC is always judged by the international competition. Pag hindi tayo nananalo, palpak ang PSC, palpak ang POC. Di ba? And revamp, dagdagan ng kwarta. But it takes time to develop champions and it takes time to give them the assistance.
And they start young. Right?
Well, yeah, they should start young. But as our champions here will tell you, habang paakyat ka ng paakyat sa level, mas mahal ang kailangan mong assistance. You must have specific diet, nutrition, competition. You must have the best therapist. You must have the best facilities. Tsaka yung sasalihan mo, puro malalakas.
Eh, paano kung ang pinaka-motivation ay sumali sa Little Miss Philippines?
Ay, sorry na lang. Sorry na lang.
Di ba? O at least chairman na yata ngayon ng National Youth Commission galing sa Little Miss.
Easy lang, easy lang.
Wala tayong magagawa. But tulad ng sinabi ng ating boksingera, si Gretchen, na talagang you must be proud to wear that flag pag nasa labas ka. Kasi pag walang mangyayari eh. And I think our athletes, our Olympic athletes, they struggle, they try their best despite the facilities, despite lack of new training shoes, despite lack of everything, na kailangan manalo. Ang ano lang, no, Kenya yun. Kenya, Ethiopia. Ethiopia, let's say si Abebe Bikila won
Pero
1960.
malalakas sila.
Oo, they were built for running.
Of course. Okay. Sa dalawang grades, anong edad kayo nagsimula? Hindi naman classified sa karate.
I started late. First year college. Yeah, 16 years old. Yeah. Bata pa ba yun? Pero naging national team ako when I was 19, 16, 17. Yeah.
Naging hobby lang ba
Naging hobby. Basketball ako sa UST. Ayun. Tapos sabi ko, parang hindi ata ako makaka-international tournament pag nasa basketball ako. So, yung kapatid ko noon, nagkakarate na sila yung nauna. So, sumali na lang ako. Sabi ko, ayos to ah. Okay.
Yeah. Gretchen, in your case, kailan ka nagsimula mag-boxing?
Same din po, 16. Pero 7...
19 years old
No. 16, then 17 years old po ako nung naging national team po ako. Kasi during that time po namin, ang women's boxing po sa Philippine Sports Commission ay 2 years 3 years pa lang po sila. Then naghahanap po sila, nagdadagdag sila ng mga women's boxing na para po i-train sa national pool during nung nagkaroon po ng national open po sa Palawan. So nagkaroon po ko ng chance na maging part ng under po ng city government kay Mayor Hagedorn dati. So yun po, doon ako nagsimula, inilagaan ako ng city hanggang nag-compete ako ng national. So blessed po ko na nakuha po ako sa national pool. So, nung time po na yun, 2003.
Looking forward, ilang taon pang i-devote mo sa boxing?
Sa career ko po, siguro mga at least less than 5 years.
Less than 5 years.
Yes po.
Ako, kawawa naman si Seth. Baka mamaya sa panaginip, may alala. Mabigwasan. Okay. We'd like to open the floor to our colleagues from the media.
Morning po. Tracy po sa Hataw. Morning po, Ma'am Celia. I remember nung naging guest namin kayo sa Philippine Sports Writers Association Forum, nabanggit po ni Chairman Butch Ramirez na tungkol dun sa funds. Kasi di ba, part of the problem of our sports is yung kulang sa pondo. Ang sabi niya, no liquidation, no funds sa NSA. Kasi basically, hindi naman PSA may problema, hindi rin POC. Ang problema, nandun sa NSA, gaya na sinabi ni Gretchen. Lagi sila nag-aaway, hindi naalalaman kung saan napupunta yung pondo. Ang alam ko po as of now, 100 million ang unliquidated sa NSAs.
Totoo po yun, but that is 100 million. That is, I think, 2009 below. So, ngayon po ay medyo may mga nagli-liquidate na. At nire-require po, kasi hindi naman po namin ma-trace back. Kung hindi po namin bibigyan ngayon ng pondo, yung mga bagong NSAs, no? Na may mga unliquidated ng their past officials, kawawa po yung mga atleta. No? Pero po, tinitingnan po namin, katulad nung nag-board meeting po kami nung Friday, sinasabi po namin, approve as long as you liquidate. So, hindi po namin dinideny ngayon yung kanilang request for funding, pero may kulatilya doon as long as you liquidate, submit liquidation. So, ang tinitingnan po namin yung cut-off po, ginaya po namin yung dating Board of Commissioners na pag upo po nila ng 2010, inapprove po nila lahat as long as clean na sila sa unliquidated, sa mga liquidation nila as of 2010 and onwards.
Di po ba yung unliquidated, may dates yan, yung unliquidated. So, yung mga panahon na yon, yung mga officials ng NSA na ito, nandyan pa po ba? Kasi, kumbaga, hindi kayo nag-liquidate, so, you're part and parcel kung meron nakawan dyan.
Wala lang po, karamihan po, wala na eh. Yung mga officials noong una, wala na po yung mga nakaupong officials. So kaya po, ang sinasabi nga ng komisyon, huwag naman natin pahirapan yung mga atleta because of the doings of their leaders, no, of the NSA officials before. Kaya binigyan po ng cut-off yan na may board resolution na lahat ng mga NSAs na wala pong unliquidated as of 2010, pwede pong maka-avail ng pondo.
So yung kung 2009 below, TY na yun?
Pwede pong lagi pong may notice sa kanila, no, from our legal department.
Hindi po ba pwedeng kasuhan sila? Kasi unliquidated eh.
Pwede po. Kung buhay pa yung
Wala
mga
po bang balak ang PSC na kasuhan itong mga to?
Merong actually. Sadali po si Doc Larry po ay mag-a-add po ng sagot. No?
Okay, just to share with you, sir, yung ano po, no? Naging actions on the unliquidated issue. Okay. For several occasions, yung legal office ng PSC po has been sending demand letters to all these individuals to liquidate or return the money. Okay? So, ang advice din sa amin ng COA, if for a certain period of time, walang bumalik na liquidation or the refund, no? The PSC it's enough ground for the PSC to file necessary court case po. So that's the normal operation of the law and yung accounting and auditing rules natin. So kung merong unliquidated na habulin, kung di maibalik, there's a case. There will be case filed in court.
Normal process po ba yung magtagal ng ganun? Kasi 2010
Actually,
below eh.
Most of the unliquidated accounts po were during the time of yung before 2010. So 2009, tama po si Commissioner doon. 2009 and below. Siguro in 2010 to 2015, siguro less than mga 15 million lang yan, maliit lang yun. Ang bulk is yung 2009 down. And
Ayun nga po, ang tanong ko, normal lang po ba na ganun?
Ay, hindi po normal
matagal
yan. Of course, no? By operation of law, after 30 days, you need to liquidate the financial assistance or else you will be notified to for reconsideration another 15 days or 30 days. Then, yun na, pwede na po tayo mag-file ng case.
Ano po ba, anong sabi ng legal? Bakit parang ang bagal nila?
Okay. Most of them po were already departed, no? Yung mga heads dati ng NSAs na to. Yung mga accountable officers. So, yun na po, no? Yun na pong advice din ng COA, cases will be filed in court po.
Dagdagan ko na yung gulo. Ang tanong ko po pag meron kasi presidente bago, pagkakaalam ko lang, you assume full responsibility for everything, including the utang, the unliquidated. Because you already assumed the position, right? So all the assets and liabilities, alam din ninyo when you assume. Because if I be elected president of an NSA and I will see a lot of unliquidated funds, I wouldn't even dare sit as president unless and until yung papaltang ko would liquidate.
Okay. So, in response to that po, may mga cases na dissolve yung association and a new association is established. Parang ganun, no? So, these are the things na our legal department is looking at right now po. So, don't worry po. We're on top of the situation.
Medyo nakaka-intrigue. Anyway,
May isa pang tanong po. Nawala si chairman. Napaihi ata. Kasi ayaw mo na.
Sa DWIC po ako. Ako yung lalaking Aya Yupangko. Ang opisyo ng PEC nasa Rizal Memorial Coliseum. Di ho ba yung Rizal Memorial Coliseum? Ang problema ng mga athletes natin doon, pag medyo maulan-ulan yata, binabaha daw yung grounds eh. Di ho ba? Malaking problema na ho yun doon sa mga athletes natin. Pangalawa, ang napansin ko rin sa Rizal Memorial Coliseum, yung ground floor na nasa tapat ng Harrison Plaza, pinarent natin na may mga restaurant, may mga videoke. May mga beer house doon. Kaya sa gabi, nakikita ko yung mga athletes natin, yung iba naroon. Sabi ko, mga athletes natin ito, bakit nasa loob ng karaoke? Di kaya, pwede na natin gawin ding ang video okay, gawin na rin nating sports. Total, palakasan ng boses, palakasan ng sounds.
Actually po, ito po yung gusto namin maparating sa inyong lahat. Meron po tayong balak ilipat ang sports village sa Clark. No? May pag-uusap na po ang BCDA at saka si Chairman Ramirez tungkol doon sa Green City na establish sa Clark na ang uulahin ay bigyan ng lugar ang Philippine Sports Commission na lahat ng complex, parang artist village. Doon na po, holistic village na may sports conditioning, may schools, no? Opisina, training venues. So ito pong nasa Rizal Memorial. Alam niyo po, ang Rizal Memorial ay pag-aari po ng City of Manila. Yusuf Rockbo yan.
Pati yung
no?
Ninoy Aquino.
Oh,
yung
Ninoy
stadium.
Aquino. So hindi pa pag-aaral ng Philippine Sports Commission yan. So at any time na pwede kayong paalisin dyan, kumbaga squatter lang kami dyan. So meron pong naibang na pondo yung dating Board of Commission na ngayon po ay naglalaro na sa 1.6 billion. Na pwede na po siguro naming start up ng pag-build ng facilities natin, sports village po doon sa Clark. Kaya po eventually, hindi na po talaga conducive dito sa City of Manila, no? No? Hindi lang po yan. Marami na pong, ito po katotohanan po, kasi po ako ay dating presidente ng Philippine Pagkaksilat. At meron na po kaming isang miyembro ng silat na naging drug addict, drug user. Because of the vicinities, the surroundings
Nasa
doon.
paligid nung ano.
So, paligid doon. So, yung po ay hindi na talaga conducive. Sinabi ko na po yan dati pa, nung hindi pa po ako na-appoint, sinabi ko na po yan sa komisyon na dapat tingnan ng gusto, no? Na itong surroundings namin ngayon, o kaya magkaroon ng random check. Kasi talagang biktima na po yung mga atleta natin at saka mga coaches ng mga...
Yung mga pedicab driver doon, tulak ko nung Cebu yun eh.
Sa
Mga
Liberisa
nandoon.
po, ang dami dyan eh, no? So,
At saka Melo, minsan, last year, nagja-jogging pa ako dyan. Napansin ko, mula nung magtayo ng malalaking building sa paligid, parang kinakapos ng paghinga ko sa, doon sa ground loob na.
polluted na po masyado. No?
Thank you for the observation and the concern and the question.
Salamat, sir.
Pare, may tatanong ka kay di ba? Tracy. Ako muna. Sir, dalawa tanong ko eh.
Kanino?
It's para kay Doc Larry at Professor Vergara. Tungkol po doon sa sinabi niyong hindi pumasang law na pagbibigay. Hindi po ba instead i-revise natin, bigyan na lang natin ng job sila para yung mga nag-represent sa country natin, instead of giving them pension, so until yun such time na retired sila, GSIs will take care of them.
Okay. We're talking of tens of thousands po na athletes if we consider each and every one from the day na nagkaroon ng organized sports in the Philippines. So, yes, the Philippine Sports Commission po is helping them in a way po, no, yung livelihood. We train them, provide them yung capability building. So that yung mga current athletes po to, no, so that yung what they earn right now, magamit nila in business. So yung mga past athletes po, if they are at least finish high school, kinukuha rin namin sila sa PSC po. Pag may mga projects kami.
Like employing them as coach kasi through their experience
Yes
sa mga
po.
public schools, bakit hindi
Yes
natin qualified naman siguro maybe?
Some former athletes po were PE teachers now kasi they were able to finish college po, no? And we help them enter DepEd and other high schools, private high schools po. But it's really education is the bottom line eh. They need to complete college for us to help them also eh.
Then probably yung ETF can get into the...
Yes po. May mga practical courses kami na ina-apply sa kanila. Yes po, short courses. Yes po, yes po.
We can bring this up in our...
That's correct po.
Alam naman natin sa gobyerno pinapasok pag padrino eh, di ba? Yan naman mas sila. Yung second question ko po, bakit po humihina na yung palarong pambansa? Di ba yung pool natin, doon kinukuha yung mga bagong young, parang hindi na ganun ka-glamorous o
Okay, this is not our jurisdiction, no?
DepEd.
The DepEd is not our jurisdiction, but my honest assessment is that yung education mo, yung curriculum natin ngayon has less time, 40 minutes a week for physical education. Unlike before, 1 hour, 30 minutes a day. So it helps a lot for us to encourage children to engage in sports eh. So ganun lang yan eh, una eh. Engage in sports, parang kunin mo yung interest nila to play. And then participate, compete. Yun ang pinaka-ultimate eh. So konti yung nagpa-participate and nangyayari, no, konti din yung kalidad. Ang
Hindi, palagay
quality
niyo ba, sir,
bumababa.
kulang ng exposure, yung mga different sports, yung mga bata, most especially sa Parplang?
Okay. Actually, sir, nirevive po namin yung Batang Pinoy and PNG as additional, supplemental national competition of palarong pambansa. Kasi palarong pambansa is not enough eh. Dapat at least tatlo talaga yan. So we revived it in 2012. Now, after 4 years po, nakikita na natin resulta. And Heidelin is one of the beneficiaries nito eh. Isa siya sa mga, nagko-compete, challenge sa mga national or junior athletes. So, ang effect talaga nito nung revival namin 4 years ago, siguro mga 3 years pa, makikita natin gaganda yung reservoir ng national pool natin.
So may inasan.
Yung kalidad tataas.
Sir, may inasan.
Yes po. We're very very promising yung mga programa natin.
Okay.
Very promising. Marami nang nangako kasi.
Oo nga po.
Masyado yung promises. Next question.
Kaya na po.
Kaya may nadagdag ang ating kasama mula sa PNP.
Can I just add, yun po yung magandang sinabi ni Dr. Domingo, no? Dahil ang DepEd at lalo na nga ngayon, yung nabanggit ko kanina, yung sports track natin, kasi there will be 3 exits for this. Those who are really want to take sports track can go to the national pool if they want. Ang problema kasi sa atin, we don't have the LTAD. Wala tayong long-term athletic development. Compare sa ibang bansa like Canada, they have the model. And what we did in the K-12 PE curriculum is we benchmark to other very good countries na mayroong ganito. So, yung K-12 PE curriculum namin, tiningnan natin ngayon, mayroong long-term development for dito sa side, those who really want to go to sports track. And then the other side is the participation in sports. Please remember na ang PE curriculum is not all about sports. It's not all about dance. So mayroon tayong ibang perspective na tinutuhog. Pero tama yung kay Sir. Kasi kailangan natin bigyan ng importance ngayon. At sana wag ma-marginalize kasi 1 hour for secondary and 40 minutes for elementary is not enough for a week to develop this. You have 1 quarter of 10 sessions only. Yung teacher nagpe-prepare pa lang, sa susunod na meetings, 1 linggo na naman ulit siya. So that's why those programs that will be catering, kaya tayo maraming mga extracurricular that will support the curricular programs. So siguro we need to think of the LTAD. Maganda yung sinabi ni Commissioner kanina, na sana sa consultative makita yung nasa sa academe, yung nasa sa DepEd, kasi kami yung may mga experiences eh. Like karate, we're promoting karate in the SQUA. The State Colleges University Athletic Association. Ito, dinodominate ng PUP at saka ng RTU. They have very good athletes for this. And we have national competition for pasok. And yet, walang masyadong support. Ang nagpa-fund pa rin is the university na galing din sa sariling funds ng mga university. Wala kaming outside support. We really want to promote sports in the academe, in the tertiary level. Siyempre, iba yung UAP at NCCA. Kami nga sa SQUA, hindi kami namimidya. Pero we have very good. Ang pool ng sepak takraw ay pool galing sa SQUA, galing sa IRIS, galing sa PUP. Pero hindi kami na-expose kasi nga, bawal sa amin dahil kami nasa sa tertiary, hindi namin ma-commercialize yung sports. Pero kung titingnan ninyo, maraming good athletes came from SQUA kasi developmental kami, pababa. Ang feeder namin galing sa palarong pambansa. Kinukuha talaga namin sa mga probinsya para bigyan ng scholarship. Ang problema, we don't have support from the government. Ang binabayad lang na athletic PA gatiting. Sa PNU, 75 pesos. Ang bayad...
Pag dinagdagan mo yan, magpo-protesta na yan.
Yes, ang bayad ko sa coach ay 75 pesos per hour. And yet ako, so ito yun eh. Ito yung problema na dapat makita. Trifocal dapat. So sana yung PSC will magbigay ng funds sa amin. Bigyan kami ng scholarship. Paaralin nyo lahat ng mga coach na walang degree. Magbi-provide kami sa inyo ng program. We're offering diploma for sports. So sana ganun, mabigyan ng totoong pansin kasi ang development ng sports manggagaling pa rin sa education side.
Alright. Yeah, Kiki, ang sabi kasi, yun daw karate ko minsan, napupunta sa pulis dahil laging gano'n. Sabi, ewan ko lang kung totoo yan.
Chop.
Hindi, shop, saka naka-ready. Kiki,
Yung nagtanong kanina, yung pagkakaintindi ko ba ron na nagtataka siya kung bakit yung mga palarong pambansa gold medal winners ay hindi umaangat pagdating ng sa national level pagdating ng college. Tama ba 'yon? Tama ba 'yon? Tama yung tanong mo? Well, ito yung as far as track and field is concerned, yung mga magagaling na mga atleta natin, yung hindi naman record holder, tumutuloy sila rito sa koleyo. Ngayon, pagdating sa koleyo, nagkakaroon na sila ng ibang direksyon. Yung iba gusto mag-degree na lang. Yung iba gusto UAAP na lang. Konting-konti lang ang nakikita mong dumidiretso sa national championship. For example, si Merwin Guarte, palarong pambansa silver medalist lang yan. Hindi pa siya nanalo doon sa 1500 nung taon na yon. Pero nagpatuloy ito hanggang nakuha niya yung 1500 silver medal sa Southeast Asian Games at Philippine record. Pero yung mga tulad ni Guarte, nila Ulbok, nila Jason Sid, konting-konti pa lang yan. So, it depends on the coach, it depends on the college where they are enrolled. If the college that they are enrolled has the national vision in mind, gagaling sila. Kasi nangyari sa FEU yan eh. Nung buhay yung mga magkakapatid na Reyes, sinasabi nila palagi, ito bang kukunin natin, mapapakinabangan ng bansa? And that is the reason that they produce so many good boxers, so many good weightlifters, so many good track and field runners, and swimmers. Ngayon, yung mga ibang eskwela, wala silang masyadong ganun. Kaya, yung nakukuha nilang palarong pambansa winners, nakakatapos nga ng degree, pero makikita mo naman na bakit ito hindi nagpatuloy sa 100 meters 10.5 kayang-kaya. Ito hindi nagpatuloy ng 200 o 400. Yun ang problema ron.
matanong kita, ang Pilipinas, kapuluan, ang ipera doon. Pero wala tayong gasinong achievement sa swimming.
Swimming the swimming case is very, very complex. Aabutin tayo rito ng buong maghapon kung sasabihin ko sa'yo kung ano nangyari.
Yes. Sabi ba sabihin ko, mas maraming Pilipino takot sa tubig?
Hindi. Actually, Melo, nung isang linggo, ka-Facebook ko yung isang napakasikat na swimmer nung 1970s. Pumunta rito sa Pilipinas galing sa US. Hindi ko na muna papangalanan dahil kalaban niya ngayon yung club. Kasi nakita niya, bakit ganito kayo magpa-ensayo? Kung tuturuan na lang ninyo, turuan nyo na maayos. Hindi yung puro learn to swim lang. Although learn to swim, tama. Pero siyempre, kung kayang hatakin sa next level, kailangan hatakin.
Despite the floods in Espanya.
Oo, siyempre.
Tapos sabi ko yung mga bata,
Oo, talaga. Ngayon, that is a culture na, that is a cultural issue. Tawag ko ng cultural issue kasi meron isang grupo na pinopokus medalya. Pero tignan mo yung oras. Tignan mo yung oras. Hindi umaangat ang oras. Pero gusto nila, 10 gold medals, 14 gold medals. So what? Kung yung time mo sa 100 meter freestyle sa lalaki, 58 seconds. Ano yan? Para saan ba yan? Wala.
hanggang club lang yan.
Hanggang club lang. Pero doon, masaya na sila. So how can you pull them up to the national level? I'm not even talking about the politics inside the swimming association. Ito na lang. Paano mo hihilain itong mga to?
Anong meron ba dyan at nag-aaway-aaway?
Yan ang magandang tanong.
Sa susunod na edisyon niya.
Nandito na po si Chairman, Chairman sa GAB. Pinapaalis po ni Manong Digong yung online gaming. Anong gagawin ng JAB?
Well, we're very fortunate that we have a president who likes sports. In fact, bago pumunta sa Olympics, miniting niya yan at kinausap niya. And nakikita ko po na pag hindi na siya masyadong busy, meron ng panahon para makausap, ma-dialogue yung mga sports officials. Of course, nandyan si Sir Butch na very close sa ating Pangulo. Ngayon, doon naman sa online gaming, meron pong directive, no? Pag-assume pa lang ni Presidente na meron ng statement na ihinto na yung online. And I think that has already happened sa pagsarado ng PhilWeb dun sa mga e-games. But that is not within the gambit of the Games and Amusements Board kasi nga po casinos. PCSO po yan. Doon po sa mga existing na minimension po ninyo na mga online gaming, most of them are into, as I know, online casinos. Meron po dyan, may mga permits na nag-emanate sa Cagayan Export Processing Zone, sa CESA. At sa ngayon, yung online cockfighting na nagaganap sa iba-ibang, mula sa Carmona, mula sa Manila Jockey Club na nagtitake place ng karera ng kabayo, ang alam ko po yan ay ang ginagamit po nilang permit dyan ay mula sa Aurora Processing Zone Authority. But as I know, there is already a complaint that was forwarded to the PNP regarding the existence of online cockfighting sites that do not have CESA or APECO franchise or permits. And that was taken up in our in the initial brainstorming session with PAGCOR, PCSO, the PNP, and the NBI, which we spearheaded after the SONA. So sa ngayon po, pinag-aaralan yan at hinihintay ko lang po yung sinasabi na pag natapos daw po yung focus ng PNP sa droga, sa illegal gambling naman po. As mentioned earlier, meron pong anti-illegal gambling unit ang GAB na hindi po na-activate since 2011. And I was asking the former commissioners kung bakit, hindi raw po nag-detail ang PNP sa GAB. Kami po, inihintay ko lang po yung dalawang commissioners, sabay-sabay po kaming, in direction is to really assist the President in going after illegal gambling sites. Especially those, of course, without permits and walang kita ang gobyerno.
So ang magiging slogan dyan, katulad nung tinigil yung waiting sa Bicol, sabi nung ilang mga pulis nung araw, partner, long time no see. Pag tinagalan mo, matagal lang walang kita. So mukhang ganun. Okay? So let's look forward. Dr. Domingo, anong nakikita ninyong kinabukasan ng sports sa Pilipinas?
Okay. 3 years ago, in-establish namin yung priority sports, 10 priority sports.
Ano po yun?
Okay. Okay. Konsepto nito is to give a much bigger funding for the 10 sports. So ano to? Boxing, taekwondo, athletics, swimming, weightlifting, archery, wushu, judo, billiards, and chess. Okay? So, these are all individual sports. Cheaper to maintain. Yun yung priority athletes namin who, sa payroll who are getting like 45,000 to 50,000. No? So, Heidelin is a product of yung 10 priority sports. Okay. So, the bigger the funding, the better for the athletes, no? More international exposures, they could train internationally, everything, yung bigger motivated sila because of the allowances, no? So, ito yung we're looking at na magiging positive or it will turn out well in 2019 and in the coming SEA Games. No? Yun muna benchmark namin SEA Games. 2019, by the way, mag-host ang Philippines. Yeah, host tayo SEA Games. Si Com. 2019. So,
the last one was in Cebu.
Actually, ang gusto namin sana sa Mindanao, no? Sa Davao specifically. Pero ngayon sa pag-uusap ng BCDA at pag-approve nila na bibigyan na tayo ng isang athletes village doon sa Clark, baka doon na natin magawa, no?
Kaya ko muna itanong yan. We've seen Olympic villages rot. We've seen it sa internet. Except yung sa China na ginamit noong 2008 because it's already an icon. They built hotels and establishments. Pero yung iba, ghost towns.
Yes.
So, baka maging ghost town dito sa akin.
Actually, ang plano ay hindi, parang lahat ng training venues ng lahat ng National Sports Association doon, no? Doon na rin magiging opisina ng POC, ng PSC, doon na yung PSI, Philippine Sports Institute. So parang hindi lang ito yung para for the benefit lang ng mga ng SEA Games, kundi ito yung talagang, ito na yung tatawagin natin sariling sports venue natin.
Okay, very well. All right. Iggy, coming from the media.
As I see it, the Philippine Sports Commission, the new board, they are facing a crisis in Philippine sports right now. They have to reverse the irreversible decline in performance in the Southeast Asian Games. If you see in the last 2 or 3 Southeast Asian Games, our medal haul has been going down. In fact, in track and field, if track and field did not get Phil-Americans, baka iisa lang ang medalya makukuha natin. And we have to do something. Now, there is this gray area in sports policy that not many people are aware. The POC is the policy-making body. The POC, the PSC, well, it is the wallet. It is the source of funds for sports. So, yes, but and this is the gray area, the eternal gray area. The PSC cannot interfere with POC policies. They can only say, ginagastosan na namin to eh. Bakit hindi to pumapatak? Ito na yung binibigay namin eh. Di ba natin pwedeng bawasan to? Hindi natin ba pwedeng dagdagan ng ganito? That is already a, some purists would say that is a violation of the Olympic Charter. So, with every new PSC board, they have to face that issue with the POC. Ang medyo masakit lang nun, pag sumadsad ulit tayo sa labas, Southeast Asian Games, ang unang tatamaan PSC. Kasi yun ang source of funds. And I hope that the PSC and the POC can do something to stop this irreversible decline. Because Chairman Ramirez was the chairman of the PSC when we won the overall championship in 2005. So he knows what to do. But the problem is from 2005 until now, you can see that the performance has really gone down a lot. So I hope that the PSC, the new board, can do something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would the presence of Smartmatic in the clocking...
Well, as Gretchen here will remember, in one event, nagkaroon ng allegation na 1 + 1 = 3.
Okay. Gretchen.
Ano yun? No, ano ko lang, bringing back 2005, ayun the last time that the Philippines hosted the Southeast Asian Games and we won overall. And I won a gold in that SEA Games. Iba, I think, when yung alam natin na tayo yung mag-host ng SEA Games, binigay sa athletes yung pressure, actually. Binigay sa amin yung pressure na, you should win this. But pagdating pero, that was the time na finand naman kami. You know, mas madaming exposure competitions, mas madami, nandun yung, meron mga corporate sponsors na para makapag-training kami abroad. But I think after that, biglang nawala na naman. Ano yun? Dahil ginawa lang yon yung time na yon dahil tayo yung mag-host ng SEA Games at ayaw nating mapahiya. 'Di ba? It shouldn't be that way. It should be like, kailangan consistent yan. After 2005, balik na naman sa dati. Pabaya na naman. So, sana ayun yung mabago. Yung mindset na yun, yung thinking.
Thank you. Yes, madam.
Totoo yung sinabi ni Gretchen. Ito yung talagang pag-aaral ko sa sports. After 2005, inalis na nila yung dating full complement na lahat ng, halimbawa, if you have 37 or 48 sports, no? 48 sports na yun, binigyan ng full complement, 2005 down. After 2005, inalis. Hinati na lang. No? Hinati na lang yung mga atleta natin. Tapos ang nangyayari pa, kaya tayo sa SEA Games, bumaba ang record natin. Imagine mo naman sa isang sports na mayroong 17 gold medals at stake. Ipapadala mo, 4, 5 lang. Ano yung individual yan? Sabi ko nga, statistically, ilan lang ratio ng winnability mo? So, yun ang naging puntos ng pag-a-argue namin noon sa naging in charge ng magpapadala sa SEA Games. No? So, unlike before, lalo na pag sinabi mong subjective sport, yung boxer nga, si Manny Pacquiao, napapatumba eh. Pero pag meron kang tiyempong nanalo ka, naka-knockdown ka, may medal ka. Di ba yung may sinasabing, there's a term on that na ang ibig sabihin, binigyan mo ng pondo, halimbawa, 20 atleta yan, pinag-national training pool. Pag hindi mo yan in-expose, hindi mo yan pinalaban, ano ang ibibigay sa'yo? Kapalit ng binigay mong suporta sa kanila. So yun ang nangyari from 2006 upward, no? Na nililimit lang nila ang exposure sa international competitions. So I'm just hoping with the new board now of commissioners, we are looking on that na miski hindi pa na national level, ang sabi nga ni Chairman, regional level lang yan, meron ng capability yan, padala natin. I-train pa, dala na natin sa international competition para pagdating ng time na national pool na siya, hasang-hasa na siya. Si Hidilyn Diaz, hindi naman one time lang yan sa Olympics. Pangatlong Olympics yan na ngayon. 14 na taon nang sinuportahan ng Philippine Sports Commission yan. At saka yung huling-huli niya international, itong Olympic na to, 12 set ng uniform ang binili ng PSC dyan. So ibig ko sabihin, ang gobyerno, pag nakita naman potential, talaga naman sinusuportahan. No? So kaya lang, ang nangyayari sa atin, pag hindi nakakuha ng medal, ang may sisi, Philippine Sports Commission. No? Sana, anahin natin yan, pananaw na yan, erase na natin yan, pananaw na yan. Kasi, ang daming hidden agenda dyan na hindi natin alam.
Kaya nga po hidden.
Kaya po hidden, no? So, ang masakit lang, pag yung negative ay napupunta doon, na ginagawa mo naman yung trabaho mo. Pero kami po, civil servant naman, no, alam po namin yan. Alam po natin yan. Pag nasa gobyerno kayo, lahat po ng batikos, lalo pong walang output, sa amin po yan. Kami ang pagsaka ng sisi.
Gretchen, sa'yo, sa panig mo, ano nakikita mo sa sport na boxing?
Ako po, kasi dati nung naalala ko po, nung nasa national team po ako, masasabi ko na nag-i-excel po din po ako nung nasa amateur po ako. At nung time po talaga na kailangan ko nang umalis sa national team dati, panahon po yun ni Chairman Eric Buhain, na kung nalaman po ninyo yun na wala ng allowance for more than 1 year, lahat po ng mga atleta except po sa mga medalist lang po ng SEA Games. So kapag ka-medalist ka ng SEA Games, tuloy-tuloy yung allowances mo. Pero yung sa akin po, nung time po na yon 2006 po nang umalis po ako. So from 2005, nawalan po ng support kasi training lang po kami ng training kasi nung time po nang nag-healed po dito ng SEA Games sa Pilipinas ay wala pa pong women's boxing na kasama sa SEA Games nung time po na yon. So yun din po yung time na 2005 na nag-bronze po ako sa World Championship sa Russia. Meron pong incentive po yun, pero wala pong napunta sa aking incentive. Then,
May incentive pero wala.
oo, kasi nag-bronze po ako eh. So pagka may medal ka sa international, actually, meron po talagang incentive. So nung umuwi po ako, wala po akong incentive, tapos bronze medal ako. Doon po mismo sa Russia, merong binigay na cheque na para sa akin, like, if you are a bronze medal, meron ka rin pong makukuha na prize na parang cash money, ganon. Pero ang napunta lang po sa akin ay yung certificate ng kung ilang dollars po yun, yung dapat makuha ko. Then pagbalik, wala naman po akong incentive. Parang sabi ko, for 1 year na nagtiis akong naghirap sa training pool na wala akong allowance, then nag-aaral pa ako. Parang sabi ko, siguro, aalis na lang ako, magkukwit na lang ako sa national team. So yun po talaga ang nag-push sa akin para mag-quit sa national team at para po maging professional boxer at hanggang ngayon po.
Yung first bout mo as a professional boxer, panalo.
Opo, sa China po yung ginanap.
Hindi mo nakita yung mga taga-PSC doon sa kalaban mo?
Wala naman po. Wala naman pong Actually, pero nagpapasalamat din po ako syempre sa Philippine Sports Commission. Siguro, hindi ko naman po lahat, kung ano mong achievements ko ngayon, na triple world title po ako ngayon, hindi ko naman po ma-achieve ito lahat kung hindi po dahil sa national team. Kasi doon po talaga ako nahasa sa Philippine team. Kumbaga yun po ang naging foundation ko para po maabot ko kung anong pong title na hawak ko po ngayon.
Hindi naman dumarating yung pagkakataon na sasabihin ng manager mo, laglag mo yung laban mo yan?
Wala po. Wala pong ganun. Wala pong ganun. Wala pong ganun.
Okay. Chairman, kayo po, anong aasahan sa GAB? Sana po ay tuloy-tuloy kayo sa inyong trabaho at hindi nakasama sa 1,000.
We will check that later this afternoon. But anyway, having stayed there for a week, I think change has come into GAB. Meron ng mga pagbabago sa GAB na mention ko kanina, and then dagdagan ko lang po ngayon, outside of the licensing na sabay sa birthday mo, hindi yung pipila, we're strictly enforcing the 45 days. Yung pag napalabang ka ngayon, ang susunod na laban mo after 45 days. At pagka na-knockout ka, na tinamaan ka talaga sa ulo, it's not going to be less than 3 months. Kasi nga po, we have received reports that we have boxers who have passed away in the past, abroad, no? At kung dito man, we just want to make sure that they are healthy and fit and not yung yung buhay nila and yung career nila ay hindi malalagay. Hindi bali sabi nga, it's better safe than sorry. And I'm coming in from iba pong pinanggalingan ko, and hindi po ako boxing promoter or judge or I'm not from the boxing industry, no. That's why I don't give any favors to anybody. So yung mga pakiusapan, siguro maybe that's the thing of the past. But yung pagdating po namin dyan, sinabi ko sa kanila, ito, nilagay lang tayo ni Pangulo dito, pinagtiwalaan tayo, kaya dapat ayusin natin ito. Kung ano man yung nangyari noon, move on na tayo. Sa ngayon, nandyan yung regulasyon, sundin natin yan. Napakasimple lang naman yan.
Yun ba kasama doon sa regulasyon nyo na kung may promoter na mayroong tinataguyod na bout, nakadeposito na yung pananalunan ng mananalo at matatalo. Dahil kasi pag hindi kumita sa takilya.
So far po, wala naman po kaming report ng ganyan. At kung mayroon nga pong ganyan, humihingi po ako ng tulong sa inyo, Manong Mel, at sa mga kasama natin dito ngayong umaga. Kung mayroon po kayong mga concern sa GAB o mga sumbong man o yung mga nangyari noong nakaraan, ipaabot lang po ninyo sa opisina namin habang nandyan pa po kami. At aksyonan po namin yan. And ito na nga po, meron pong offices sa Mindanao at saka sa Cagayan de Oro, sa Davao, sa Zamboanga, para po yung mga boxers hindi na pumupunta rito. Meron din pong office sa Cebu and of course sa Bacolod. And then just a few days after I assumed na bigyan po ng konting dagdag budget for next year, ang GAB may computerization program para mas lalong mabilis, no, yung pag-process. And then lastly po, yung parang nakikita kong future is we're going to try to meet the former promoters who have lost interest, no? We will try to propose some incentives for them and also to corporate sponsors for helping sports. Kita nyo sa kanila, namumroblema sila. Kami naman po, on our own, pwede naming gawin yon, ano? Kasi we're in touch with them. And then, sorry po, meron pa palang huli. Last week, we met the judges and the referees. Mukhang may konting problema din in the past, no? Merong suki si promoter, merong gusto si boxer. We will try to make some sort of a rotation, no? Hindi sila na lang sila. Yung mga ibang nakalisensya ay hindi napapagbigyan. So, we will try to make a rotation and then meron pong rankings na ilalabas. Hindi lang po yung mga boksingero, pati yung mga referee. Thank you.
Professor, mula sa academe, ano gagawin, ano kailangan, what do you foresee?
Ako po very optimistic ako dun sa Enhanced Basic Education Program ng government, no, sa K-12 because binigyan ng pagkakataon na malagay sa mainstream ng education yung sports track. At nakita yon na dapat na magkaroon ng hindi ma-marginalize yung sektor na ito sapagkat kami naniniwala na kapag ang mga kabataan ng Pilipinas ay malakas, uuso ang progressive itong bansa na to. At ang sports, yan ang dapat naming tingnan para makatulong kami sa panawagan ng Pangulo na maging vehicle itong sports sa awareness ng drugs. If our children ay really engage sa sports, ay mabigyan ng pagkakataon ng mga batang ito. Sa level po ng tertiary education, gusto ko pong sabihin na ginagawa ng technical committee sa CHED na magkaroon ng Bachelor of Sports Science para magkaroon ng maraming opportunity itong mga gusto na pumunta sa larangang ito at ma-professionalize talaga ang coaching at ang officiating sa bansa. At sana sa aming mga nasa State University, mabigyan kami ng additional funds to promote sports in the tertiary level as a feeder to the national pool and para ma-promote namin because ang PASUK at ang SQUA ay talagang kami ay laging, biruin nyo, 112 state universities sa buong Pilipinas meron. And we gather these 112 state universities for an athletic competition every February. Nagsisimula kami sa level ng intramurals. Ito yung development After nito yung sa aming sa school, then we have the regional competition and we will culminate in the national competition. At marami na po kaming naipadala sa PSC at ng mga national pool na galing sa SQUA. Sana yung ating pong mga sports writer, minsan bigyan niyo po ng pagkakataon na maisulat ninyo yung mga mahuhusay naming atleta na magagaling na galing sa State University. Natatalo po kami ng UAP at saka ng NCCA kasi sila ay nai-promote. Yun po ang ano. So we are very optimistic sa side ng education na magkaroon ng magandang patutunguhan with proper budgeting, with proper concerns, nabigyan pa ng much opportunity, nabigyan ng time ang PE sa curriculum. Kaya maging maganda ang kalalabasan ng sports development ng Pilipinas. Thank you po.
Thank you. Iggy, pahabol ko lang. Wala na ba nangyayari katulad ng kontrobersya sa Little League Baseball? Na pinag-aawayan. Sabi ng isa, hubuan mo man na yan Hindi na Little League.
Bago ko, before I answer your question kay Professor. Professor, nung reporter ako, kino-cover namin yung SQUA. Nagpapadala sila ng imbitasyon palagi, kaya hindi kami dumadaplis dyan. Kasi nanggaling niya sina Renato Unso, Mario Castro, Leonardo Iliot, mga PUP sila. Tapos Iris pa. And then meron pang champion noon sa long distance sa si Cleto Ramos sa Don Mariano Marcos State University. Padala nyo lang dyan sa Rizal Memorial Media Center. Diyan naman si Frank Calapre, makakatulong yan sa'yo. Pinapadala kino-cover namin nung araw yan.
Little League, wala na ngayon.
Meron pa rin.
Next time, pag-usapan natin.
Meron pa rin. Yang baseball has been hounded by age controversies, officiating controversies. Nung a few months ago, may nangyaring tournament dito sa may Alabang na hindi binigyan ng second place team ang chance for playoff for first. So, something like that. Pumutok sa Facebook, nakita ko. Sayang kasi baseball is one sport where we have a very rich sporting history. And I hope that the PSC, before looking into expanding on and creating new facilities, dapat ayusin naman yung historic baseball field.
Very well. Okay, let's leave it at that. Sky? Papaalam na tayo. May pabol.
Kokonek ko lang yung kanina, yung SQA, tertiary level. Ang ladder of competition natin would start palaro. Elementary, secondary, then papasok si tertiary. So these are associations of SQA, NCAA, UAAP. Meron kami dyan in between palaro secondary saka itong yung sa inyo, no? Or after nung sa inyo. Yung Philippine National Games, which we revived 3 years ago. So before you become a national pool, you should compete in the Philippine National Games for you to discover or for you to defend your slot in the national team. So dun kumukonek yung from the tertiary natin. So yung age level nito, age range nito is 18 and above. So meron tayong national competitions for tertiary level. It's just that we cannot support the associations, tertiary associations kasi we need to rationalize din yung funding namin. Oo, okay.
Okay. Sky, papaalam na tayo.
Okay, so thank you very much po sa ating mga panauhin today. We've learned a lot from you guys and sana makabisita ulit kayo dito sa amin. So,
kukumbitin natin siya.
Oo.
Okay.
And good luck po sa fight niyo, Ma'am
Sana po
Gretchen.
ay magtagumpay tayo sa ating mga mitiin. It's a pleasure having our sports writers with us this morning. It's a pleasure seeing our colleagues, our guests. We look forward to another fruitful discussion. Magandang araw po. Maraming salamat.